Hello and welcome to the final lesson of this 3D course. So we have now the definite images, and in this case I'm going to show you something. If you open the render settings, you'll see that I have one image where I've selected global illumination and another one where I haven't. I've chosen this view, like we saw in the previous lesson. Here it's obviously up to you how you place the jellyfish around the scene. When we go into Photoshop now, we can see the images. This is the image with global illumination and this is the one without. As you can see, the difference is noticeable. Well, the background isn't, as with the composition text we made it so the light and the other elements didn't affect the background. So you can really see the difference on the jellyfish. This image here is much more interesting than this one. This one here is quite small, it's 1280 by 720. The one without global illumination didn't take too long to generate, but this one, where it is, took quite a while. So what I'll show you now is how to adjust the size of an image without losing hardly any quality, or losing as little quality as possible. There are different ways of composing and making adjustments. In this case, we'll do it like this. First, deactivate the background. Select the image and place it on top of the other to add some more color. You can play around with the channels and find the effect you want. I think this one looks quite good. I just want to do this to see how the image looks. You could also use soft light with 15 or 20% intensity. Unlock the backgrounds as well and make a folder. Place these elements inside the folder, and now we can start to make non-destructive adjustments to this here, using the adjustment layers. So let's start with the brightness and the contrast. Let's carry on with the levels, like the black. We want to give this scene a different kind of atmosphere. Then we'll apply some color filters to get rid of so much blue and add a different color. We'll create some more adjustment layers. Let's take a look at the curves. Add some more light around here. Now select exposure. Something like this. Remember that as everything works in layers, you can adjust any value like the opacity or the channels. You can even modify the order, whatever you like. See? Now we can start to adjust the color. Select Vibrance, just to give it some more color. Place it on the top here. Let's open the saturation to have a look at some more colors. I think a green would look quite good. Let's see how it looks if we put the layer up. Okay, let's carry on with the color balance. See what difference it makes to the tone. The possibilities are endless, really. We are now adjusting the midtones. Then we can move on to the lights. Something like this looks good. And if we put the color balance up to the first layer, see how it changes. We can adjust the channels too. Okay, let's leave it at that. Apply a color filter, lower the intensity. The image is very small, so I'll show you how to increase the size of the image without losing details or as little as possible. In other versions of Photoshop, you had to do it differently, but after CC they changed the method and improved it, so now it's much better. As you can see, there are lots of ways to make adjustments. I've prepared some other images that I'll show you later, but I just want to show you the procedure. Go to Image and clicking here, you can add different effects and see how it looks. Okay, so let's say this is all finished. Duplicate this one, for example, and put everything on one layer so you can see it better. Remove this. Okay. Go here to Image Size. Okay, so before you would put the percentage you wanted to increase, for instance 200%. And you would select Bicubic Smoother and OK. And see how the image has gotten bigger. If we go to the image, you can see this. Go back to the previous size by pressing Ctrl Z. Now in this Photoshop version, the same thing happens, but the result is much better. You need to go again to Image Size, but instead of selecting Bicubic Smoother, select Preserve Details. In the small image here, you can see how it looks. In this case, we'll increase it 300%. And here noise, set it more or less around here. The more you increase it, the less noise there will be, but the image will be much sharper. If you lower it too much, it will be too sharp, so around here is fine. Okay. The image will get bigger, but won't lose hardly any quality. Once we have this image, having increased the size as you saw, then you can go to Filter, Gallery. A viewport opens. And as you can see, here you have different effects. To soften the 3D look and make it look more like an illustration, you could add a film grain or even a paint dubs. As you can see, if you increase the size of the brush, we lose this, so I'll set it to 1. Here it's okay on 3, and you see that you can adjust some other values here too. The film grain works quite well. Remove the noise or increase it to 1 at most. You could use different ones, but these ones I think are the ones that are most useful. And there's the image with the look I was trying to achieve. Finally, we could crop the image a little, maybe around here. Okay, that's what we have. I've saved a few other images I made, like this one here. Here I've gone for a warmer range of colors. This area here is more out of focus, but I've basically done the same things, played around with these properties here. In this case, if you want an image like this one, you need to increase the color balance, for example. Both for the midtones and the lights, we'll adjust the values. This way you get something similar to this other image I made. Okay, this is another one. On this one, I wanted to work on a more bluish tone. Now we have this one that was modified. Remember that here we can lower the effect like this. And now you can adjust the opacity. And with that, we leave it there. So on this course, we've worked on the splines making the body of the jellyfish. We also worked with the hair module. We placed a light and we applied a texture to a disk in alpha to get that halo effect. So we've actually done quite a lot, and as you can see, we ended up with an illustration that's a little far away from traditional 3D, which we achieved in Photoshop. Okay, and we've reached the end of the course. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget that you can upload your own designs to the project section of the course, where you can also leave your feedback or ask any questions. See you next time!